We've showed that the Arabella funding network, Soros, Tides, all the rest of them are funding these riots and protests. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that they have a distinctly anti-ICE character, pro-immigration character. That's not a coincidence, because these exact same funding networks have invested a ton of money into bringing 10 million plus under Joe Biden into this country illegally. And the reason that they are bringing millions upon millions of illegal migrants into this country is because they need to replace, it's two things. One, it's apportionment. If you were to remove all of the illegal aliens in California, they'd lose a dozen plus congressional seats.
Yep.
So that's just one. And that's why the same groups are funding, efforts to keep the Census Bureau from counting whether or not someone's a citizen, because they want the apportionment in these sanctuary states. Gives them a lot more power in Congress. The other reason is because they know, I mean, whether or not we're talking about getting illegal voters onto the voter rolls, which I know that that's just been a total insane conspiracy theory for so long, except for states like Texas just took 2,000 off. Virginia recently took 6,000 non-citizens off their voter rolls. So let's just place to the side non-citizens who somehow find their way onto voter rolls illegally. Within 5 years, they will become eligible to vote. And so eventually they become eligible to vote. You know, these guys, the Soros types, the Arabella network, they're playing a very long game. And then they know that once, migrants who have been given free education, free healthcare, free, preloaded debit cards for whether it's food stamps or what have you, they're going to vote for the party that promises to continue funding that. And we're talking about like $500 billion of taxpayer money that Americans cannot afford to share with non-citizens. When huge numbers, I mean, we're immigration, but it has to be done in an orderly way. Otherwise, it's going to bankrupt us and really destabilize us. So it's not a coincidence that the same group funding the anti-ICE riots are the same groups funding the resettlement of millions and millions of illegal migrants, because they're the same groups that are funding the get out the vote efforts. And you mentioned CHIRLA to begin with.
Yeah.
That is that's the perfect example, because CHIRLA is out there anti-ICE protest rioting, but CHIRLA is also a group that they do get out the vote outreach for not for non-citizens, although they do believe that non-citizens should be allowed to vote. CHIRLA does migrant resettlement, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights in Los Angeles. So they resettle migrants, they handle get out the vote activities, and they also do protest activities. It's like a threefer funded by Neville Roysingham and, shockingly, your own tax dollars. We found that over $50 million over the years has gone from both federal government and the state of California to CHIRLA.
I want to drill down on the state of California for a second, because it's such a perfect example of this vicious cycle you're talking about. But before I do, quick question. I've been pointing out recently that the Democrats were never for open borders. We've all now seen the videos of Barack and Hillary and Bill. We've got to close the borders. We've got to build a wall. We've got to mess with the Constitution so we can have expedited removal, get these people out of here, pretend like they were never in the country. That was created by Clinton and then expanded by Obama. What happened with the Democrats that they suddenly, under Biden, felt like we can't win elections anymore the right way? We got to game the apportionment map for electoral college votes and the House of Representatives. What happened there? They were winning just fine for quite some time.
Yeah, well, I think I can't be certain, but I think that they've been kind of hemorrhaging support in recent years. I mean, Barack Obama was sort of a shining star, and a lot of people on both sides voted for him. He had the highest, until Joe Biden in 2020, highest number of votes ever. And so, Barack Obama was kind of the last person that people truly supported. But then he came in and put this kind of socialist vision in place, and Democrats started to lose support.
All right, guys, if you like this clip and you want to watch the full episode, click here. And if you want more content like this, you can subscribe to the show by clicking here.